Johnny Appleseed. Once there was a man who was very, very poor. He had been a farmer and grown wonderful crops, but somehow he lost his farm and was left all alone. He had always wanted to do something great, something that would make many people happy. But what could he do? He had no money. All he had was a small boat. As he trudged along one day, he saw some old sacks lying under a tree. As he looked at them, he had a wonderful idea. He picked up the sacks and placed them in his boat, jumped in himself and floated away. As he rowed down the stream, the man watched the shore carefully. When he saw an apple orchard, he rowed to land and tied up his boat. Then he hurried along to the homes near the orchards and asked for work. He cut wood, carried water, and did all sorts of odd jobs. In payment for this work, he asked for food. And what else do you imagine? The people were so surprised at what he asked for that they could hardly believe him. He asked that he might have the seeds from the apples that lay on the ground under the trees. Only the seeds. The people gave them to him gladly, and as he cut the fruit, the neighbourhood's children swarmed about him. From one place to another he went, always adding to his store of seeds. Some generous farmers also gave him cuttings of peach, pear and plum trees and grapevines. Day after day he cut up the fruit while the children sat at his feet and listened to tales of what he had seen on his travels. He talked about the Indians with their colourful blankets and feathers, of their camps where they lived in the forests, of the wolves which came out at night to watch him as he sat by his fire, and the beautiful deer who ran across his patch. He sang funny songs for the children and taught them all sorts of games. When it came time for him to move on, the children begged him to stay, but onwards he went, and when his bags were full, he knew it was time for him to carry out his great idea. He rowed on and on in his little boat until there were no more houses to be seen. Splendid forests lined the banks here and there. Then he paused, for this was what he was looking for, a place where no one lived. He landed and went about with a bag of seeds, and when he reached an open place in a forest, he planted seeds and cuttings of trees and vines, then wove a brush fence about them to keep the deer away. He then hurried back to his boat and drifted on. In many, many places he landed and planted seeds, and all the orchards of the Ohio and Mississippi Valley are owed to this man. Years after, when settlers came looking for a place to live, they chose these spots where, to their great surprise, they found all sorts of trees loaded with fruit. This man's name was John Chapman, but he was nicknamed Johnny Appleseed.